All right, good morning. It is July 15th, 2026, 10:05 a.m., and we're starting bargaining between LCS and LCEA. Morning, everybody, and we're here in Groveland Elementary. Sorry for the change of site, because they're still repairing the AC at that site. So, with that said, I have the agenda here. Is there anything you want me to start?
So I know we've got the updated minutes, I think, from Sarah, so I think we're caught up and good there.
Okay.
Everyone on our team is still the same. I don't have any new folks, so we're good there. So I don't think there's any other logistic pieces from our side, so I think we're good.
Okay, the only new member, Ms. Langley, were you here the last meeting?
The meeting before that.
Before that, so yes. She was my only new member, so. And okay, well, with that said, if I follow the agenda, you want me to start, correct?
Yes.
So last meeting that we had together, I expressed that I was going to have an executive session with the board and discuss all the compensation packages proposed and the referendum. So I did that. I discussed with the board. I brought them both so they can see the first one, and then I brought them the second one that was provided to me by email and provided to the board, along with the data, with the numbers and all that. I also discussed the referendum MOU. I'm going to table that for a minute,
okay,
because that's we discussed the language in it and all that, but I will be completely transparent and clear. My main focus is with you, with LCEA, is the classroom teacher salary increase allocation. I have to reach an agreement by July 30th. So my main focus today is that. That doesn't mean that I'm not ready to speak to it. I can't speak to it, and I'm not ready for it today, but I could be ready for it at the July 21st meeting that we have in place. And
which I don't want to interrupt your flow, but I did print copies of it because I know we had sent that to you after bargaining.
Okay.
And so I made copies for everybody. I wasn't sure if your team had a chance to see it.
The referendum?
No, the compensation second proposal.
Okay. You wanna pass it? I can give.
Okay.
I can put a copy. I did not. Did we put a copy in the binders? The other one?
Oh, they do.
It should be in
7-1. Let me double check it. The second one they sent. Yep, it's here.
Okay.
It's the one with the LCA 7/1/2026 with the numbers.
Bobby, what's it say at the top? 7/1/20. Yes.
Yeah, that
so
one.
I'll at least pass it out to our
We
team.
have it. We have it. We have a copy in our binder.
So hopefully it's to make sure our team, because not everybody here at the table was part of that after bargaining.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. I just want to make sure that. So what I did with the board, once you provided that MOU, I provided the cost based on number data that we discussed, end of contract as of June 3rd, I believe, at the end of the last year's contract. So, and I gave them the same numbers that I gave you, same data that you have that I provided at the last meeting. Obviously, that's just a prediction based if everybody rolled to the same position. I do not know how those positions look this coming year and with the changes that are happening at the school. So I gave them a rundown of both proposals, but the last one being the last one that you wanted us to bring forward. Okay, so board gave me the direction on how to proceed with LCA today's meetings. Their emphasis is we need to decide on House Bill 5001. We need to make sure we meet the statute and come into an agreement with that statute. Board says that we're not ready to discuss compensation at this time for several factors. Compensation would apply to all. There has been some discussion with preliminary surveying of principals regarding enrollment counts are coming back low. And until we see a solid number count in our schools, as we start the school year, then they can make a better decision on budget outlook for us to make a decision on compensation. We traditionally have made compensation during the fall. Every bargaining session, it has never been this early. And as much as I do understand and the board understands, I would like to be able to meet you at that point. I'm not ready to make that decision yet. Board wants teachers, and please understand, we need to be patient. We are also, and with the understanding that not only that, we agree with LCEA in increasing the millage, the quarter millage, which has nothing to do with the compensation package. But at the same time, we have to be responsible with our funds in case that does not pass. If it does not pass, there is $40 million that we're going to lose in revenue to support school safety and any money that we're going to get for teacher salary increases that we added to that millage. So with that said, the board is requesting for Please work with us. We are not saying no to the compensation package, the one that refers to performance pay. We are saying we need time. We cannot agree on a compensation package at this time. What we need to come into an agreement is on the House Bill 5001E, which discusses classroom teacher salary increase for the specified information that we discussed already, 10 years and above, and being in a classroom position, and so on and so forth. What I prepared today is I brought an MOU to take care of that and explain the MOU to the union, if that's okay. So
Would now be appropriate time to ask some questions, or should I wait until?
if you give me a minute, let's discuss this, and then we'll go over all the questions. I printed it front and back. There was nothing between 2 pages. So it's a draft right now. I'm not sure where you'll be. This is your copy. Now, before I read or go over this MOU, DOE sent guidance. Remember that I had discussed that we were waiting for DOE guidance regarding this money? They sent an email out on July 1st. In it, the Deputy Commissioner of Operations and Finance basically stated that we must have a plan approved by the school board and ratified by the union, and must be submitted by October 1st. If an agreement is not reached, we've discussed by July 30th, we're obligated either party to file for impasse. But by August 4th, we have to send them an update on where is our agreement and where is the timeline for ratification. So that's the update. And they said they provided all the information, the money that is allocated to every school, because it went to all districts. That was the guidance. They did not elaborate. They reiterated the same definition on who qualifies for the money, which I'm not going to go over because I think we've gone over it several times. So with that guidance, here's the MOU. The MOU is the typical MOU. The beginning is the same thing to the first paragraph. The main change that I did is that as it requires ratification. So we have to take it to the board, and I have to get it approved by the board. Union will have to get it ratified. Obviously, teachers haven't come back, so it will have to be ratified after teachers come back. And this MOU relates to the classroom teacher salary increase allocation. And the second paragraph dictates that information. The main bullet that I'm going to concentrate is the first one. The portion amount allocated to LCS district, less for teacher salary increases, less the family empowerment scholarship allocation, less the charter school allocation, will be used to address salary increases to full-time classroom teachers and certified pre-kinder teachers funded in the FEFP with at least 10 years of full-time teaching experience in a Florida public school per House Bill 5001E. The portion adjusted for us is $1.7 million. Now, I put that number is because I have to add the FRS. So when you add the French rate, 21.85%, it comes out to almost $2.1 million, which is the allocation for us. Qualifying classroom teachers are defined in that statute. Qualifying classroom teacher contracts are instructional annual, instructional probationary annual, and professional service contracts. The distribution of funds is very important to us because we don't have an issue with your experience bands or with your any which way you want to distribute the money. So basically, the classroom teacher, what I put is the total classroom teacher salary increase allocation, adjusted allocation should be distributed by LCS to qualifying classroom teachers identified as of a date starting on September 15th. I put that date because according to contract, a teacher that was not reappointed could take up a contract and still qualify by that date. Shall have full discretion, and then I put LCA shall have full discretion to elect the method by which the funds are distributed to qualifying classroom teachers consistent with the guidance set forth in the bill. And LCS shall process and distribute the funds in accordance with LCA's election. That means that LCA may elect to have the funds distributed either equally among all qualifying classroom teachers or according to years of full-time teaching experience. The reason that I didn't put the bands in the MOU is because once I pull the data on September 15th, I'm going to give you the data and tell me which bands you want me to use. You may decide to adjust your bands or decide to adjust amounts accordingly, okay? Notwithstanding the foregoing, the recurring salary increase provided to an individual eligible teacher under this allocation shall not exceed $3,000. That's in the law. I cannot give any more. You can decide a group of teachers that get up to the 3,000 and then decide lowering amounts for the other bands, but it comes out to, I believe, to about 1,950 or 970, 1,900 if it's distributed evenly, and those people that got reappointed do not resign and they're in the same position. That amount might fluctuate higher or lower depending on what positions are pulled on September 15th. Any funds remaining as a result of the application of this cap should be redistributed in accordance with applicable law and mutual agreements of the parties. Now, the next bullet is what we typically put in MOU when we're discussing paid aside from performance pay, the agreement regarding the distribution of funds attributable to the classroom teacher salary increase allocation for the 26-27 school year shall not prevent the parties from negotiating other issues concerning other sources supporting the wages, salaries, or benefits under the collective bargaining agreement between Lake County Schools and LCEA under Chapter 447. And the rest is just the language. Basically, this is pretty much, it's retroactive. We're going to make it from everybody who's with us, starting from July 1st, is instructional. And the intention is to adhere to the current statute. That's pretty much what the MOU is. And all we want is to distribute the money according to the law. That's the whole directive. The board wants us to come to an agreement. If you want bans, we'll do the bans however you want me to do the bans. But I'd rather you make an informed decision with the data that I provide you on September 15th of every classroom teacher that qualifies for that. I guess at this time I can answer questions.
Okay, so my first question is, looking at the specific MOU that we presented today, you're basically saying the district's position is you will not adjust anything beyond this 1.7 million allocation for the TSIA or CTSIA,
Okay, so
I should say. Is that correct?
okay, let me explain it again.
Okay,
We're not saying you presented a compensation package as part of the contract.
correct.
When we discuss compensation, if you look at all the contracts, it's always been performance pay. That's how we present compensation, or we change
In
supplements
recent history.
in recent history.
Yeah.
The most recent
Right.
history. So we are not ready to discuss compensation at this time, for the reasons I explained. In looking and surveying principles, and we want to make sure we have the enrollment counts. Historically, we've always made decisions on compensation after we have hard body counts and we know exactly what enrollments we have. So technically, it would be responsible for us to make a decision without knowing that there's some enrollment shifts that numbers are not there, and then make on top of that, we're going to put money down. We're not saying no to the compensation package. We're saying I need to table it. We're asking for grace and time because the board is not ready to make that decision at this time. So
Okay.
to part of your question, it's no, we're not saying no. It's just we're not saying no. We're not saying yes at this time.
Okay, so then my question would be, how can we adjust this MOU to indicate that there is opportunity for more compensation when the district is prepared to have that conversation? Because the unfortunate reality that we've been put in by the state legislature is they're forcing our hand, and our instructional staff have been surveyed and they have communicated very clearly that they want to see a full compensation package. And if we can't agree to specifics, we need at least some language that says this 1.7 million wouldn't be the end all be all, that there will be more, and that we will look at years of experience and we will look at certain amounts. Because that's my other concern is I don't know how we can present this to the bargaining unit for them to even ratify if there's not even amounts about what they're going to make.
And that's fine. If you want me to put amounts, tell me what amounts you want me to. You want me to use the ones that you put?
Well, we presented that for a reason.
Right. But the problem is that if I put those amounts and the numbers don't jive, we cannot exceed that amount.
So that's my concern, because
So then if you want me to put another MOU with the bands that you specified, I
Yes.
can, but I will have to put language that specify this amounts can be adjusted based on qualifying personnel that we have.
well, I would assume that would happen anyways. But my understanding is in recent history, every single year, the district has budgeted more than they've actually paid out to instructional staff. So what the numbers we gave was very reasonable, in our opinion. We're not making proposals that are going to bankrupt the district. We're making very reasonable proposals based off historical data and the data that were received from the district. And we asked for basically an additional $100,000. That is it.
No, you asked in the compensation.
I'm talking about for TSIA only. So in TSIA only, it was additional $100 plus or minus $1,000 that we asked for. And we know that those numbers are going to change. We know that we're going to have people leave the district over the summer, new people come. So the chances of us being close to this number is pretty high. But I would really like to see some language, and I think all of us would, that would say that these bands, these amounts that we presented is what we're going to agree to.
And we agree with the bands. I'm not disagreeing with the bands. You determine the bands. That's the language that I put. If we agree on this, you give me the bands and we process accordingly. We have no issues with the bands.
But we're talking about the amount of money
That's fine.
that we presented. So does that mean the district's okay with the amount of money that we presented
We
for TSIA?
we agree to spend the allocated amount that we have to classroom teachers.
So you're not okay with it, because when we did this, we did the numbers that we used were the numbers for May, so that it was more accurate to how many people we would actually have. And we went over, it's like just over 100,000 more. And
It was about
from about 144,000 more. But what we're saying is you guys aren't willing to do that, agree to that extra 144,000?
not at this time. I'm only allowed to agree to spending the allocation portion to classroom teachers only. All other funds will be considered for performance pay.
So other districts that are agreeing to like firm numbers right now, like we can't even agree to firm amounts, even with this TSA allocation, the plan submitted state is basically there is no plan.
Well, and other districts are doing full compensation
Right, the other ones are
packages,
submitting full compensation.
That's
and they're
But what
getting
is the-
percentages.
I understand. I'm not other districts and I don't know. I can't.
What is the
speak-
board's just, what is the board doing to, I guess, rectify the situation in the future then? How are these other districts doing this if we cannot?
The board is looking at making an informed decision once we have enrollments counts that are solid, that we can make that decision for
So
performance pay.
how is Volusia or Osceola or Orange? I mean, they've
Right.
all put out St. Lucie. They're all putting out these firm plans. How are they able?
Your plan's not really a plan, your plan's saying we have 1.7 million on September 15th, you guys figure out how to divide it up.
It's basically what we agreed to
That's what-
verbally already.
Like if the state wanted a plan to distribute, it's not really a plan to distribute it. It's, here's 1.7 million, we don't know yet. how
Listen,
to
we're not,
distribute it.
I'm not prepared right now to discuss compensation. We can go back and forth. Do I agree that this language or the statute with House Bill 5001 is unfair? Yes. But all we want to do is agree that we need to have a plan in place and move forward and distribute the funds according to law. That is all.
Well, and we
Are we-
agreed to that, right? But this is not a compensation plan of any kind. This doesn't even say how much money anybody's gonna make, even the 10-year employee.
Okay, but I'm telling you, I can put it in, but then I will put language that we will spend the money. The banks will be adjusted to spend the exact portion allocated to our district within those teachers that qualify. I don't have an issue with that. If you want to determine that with your unit, that's fine. I don't have a problem. I cannot approve, but I don't have the discretion to say that we're going to put money on top of that at this time, because money on top of that is compensation that's driven by performance pay.
Okay, so then my next question would be, because obviously these other districts are doing full compensation plans. They are not paying any of that money out, right? Because they're not paying that money out until the fall when they have the enrollment and they figure out where things are budget wise. So I guess my question is, what is the harm in having an agreement that this is the intent, that we both want to come together and say, this is the intent and the goal, and then if things change, we adjust, just like we do for any impact bargaining. So why can't we do an MOU or sign a TA that says this is our intent, and if things change come the fall with enrollment, we will make adjustments, we'll come back to the table.
That is the bullet at the bottom that states that we're going to continue towards supporting the wages, salaries, and benefits.
So if
We
that's
will-
there, why can't we put the details?
What, I cannot promise any money.
But again, at any case that we sign a TA, it is not promised. It has to be ratified, it has to be agreed upon, and at any time, things can be changed with impact bargaining. So I guess I'm confused at what is the harm in saying that this is the school board's intent to make sure that everyone is compensated appropriately?
Really quick, I'm sorry. ESIA has nothing to do with millage, correct?
Classroom teacher salary increase allocation.
Correct, so it has nothing to do with millage.
Nothing.
So then the board shouldn't even be talking about millage at this point, if this they concern, correct?
Incorrect. That's part of the decision that you have to
But
make.
what I'm saying is, if the millage has nothing to do with this particular thing, then discussions about what the millage is gonna do for our salary increase shouldn't even be conversed about with the board, because we're like, you see what I'm saying? That's a tweet total. So they shouldn't be like, they gonna get it through No. That has nothing. You said last time we talked that the board and the district wanted to compensate. Everybody felt in agreement. Remember, I shouted out the principal from Umatilla. He said, yep, my teachers do a good job, right? Okay. The board should be willing to do so based on the fact that we earned it. Now, nobody at this table works and then gets rewarded for the work based on the projections from next year. Once you render the service, the compensation is given.
Based
But you see, this is getting kind of dicey based on language. And I'm saying if the intent is to do right by the district, everybody wants to do right within the district, then we should be able to ratify this pretty easy. Now, you said you was with it, the district said y'all was with it, and the teachers are obviously with it. What is the board holding up for again? Just make it very plain. Are you saying the board won't do it because they want to see the numbers of what's coming in to determine how much they will pay the people that already work for the 2 days?
I disagree with you.
Okay, so I'm just trying to get an understanding. Just show me what you mean.
Just like anybody, you have to make decisions based on the budget that you have. And if you have information that the outlook looks that you're going to be below the budget, then you have to make decisions accordingly. So the money that we have to pay teachers for last year comes from this year's budget, not last full year's budget. So before we can even get any type of compensation, we have to see what revenue is gonna come in.
So there's nothing left over from last year's budget, which was.
Well, we just put $3.7 million to cover your health insurance. That's money that came from leftover money.
That's everyone's health insurance.
But that's everybody. So, but if you
It's
take your,
not just-
it's not everybody. It's money that the board has put down to cover. So, but again, I'm gonna repeat it again. The board's not saying no.
Right,
The board is saying we need time before we can make an informed decision with compensation.
and you would need us to operate in good faith and just trust that this will work.
Correct.
So
Go ahead, I do.
have you or the board had a chance to see any of the proposals coming out from other districts that touch us?
Yes, but their financials are different from ours. I cannot speak to what they have or what they contribute. I've called several districts. Some of them don't return calls. They don't want to discuss it. I got others that tell me that they're only doing house bill. That's all they have.
And that may be true, but again, they're putting specifics to paper and they're saying that they're gonna continue to work with the negotiations to get compensation for all
But
teachers.
that's the last bullet. We're going to continue negotiating. We're not done negotiating compensation.
And I understand that you're saying that, but I think that's different than us putting some stipulations in place, some specifics. I guess my concern is our board is very much supportive of the work that we do as a district, and they have vocalized their support. In fact, they're more supportive than some of our other districts that are surrounding us, but yet they're so afraid to take a stand for us. And so I'm just really confused at why we can't come to some agreement on paper that's not even going to be in place until
Okay.
October.
So let me correct. They're not afraid to begin with. They're making an informed decision and they're acting responsibly. That's going to come out I don't have that information in front of me to provide.
Because we asked about that at the last meeting. And again, if it is an informed decision about our budget, then our fund balance should be near 3%. And if it's not near 3%, then we are not making an informed decision about our budget. We are holding on to taxpayer dollars that should be used for our community.
If I recall correctly, the budget comes to the board meeting, next board meeting. If I recall correctly, you'll see what the budget is there for, or I can bring you an updated budget on the next bargaining meeting.
So another question then with this 1.7.
Can we?
Sorry.
I mean, a person leaves in December, like that money therefore is not paid to that person anymore. So how do we make sure that that 1.7 therefore goes to every teacher? Like if you're promising, let's say the amount is 1,300 September 15th, but the person leaves in December, then they're not getting
We
all
follow the
amount.
law. The money has to be spent on teacher compensation. So whatever money is not used at the end of the year, because that goes as a salary increase and it gets spread out. So if they leave and there's leftover money, that has to be transferred to compensation of all
Compensation of all.
teachers. Like it says on the statute. It says right on the statute that any funds remaining as a result of the application of this cap should be distributed, but any funds remaining has to go back to teachers.
Okay,
So
so how,
like
how
a
do we track this thing?
compensation
Like, how do we-
or, yeah, like.
I guess
to
where's the
what?
tracking measurement of how do we make sure next whatever, like all that 1.7 is directed exactly
would-
towards.
That's that I will be able to supply you a report of every classroom teacher that got it, and any leftover money, I will report back to you, and then we'll go back to the table and put it back to classroom teachers by band.
shouldn't we have been doing that already if that's been the law?
No,
What
that's the
about-
law with this one. House bill.
So what happens like last year with the
I-
ones?
I will have to go
Who-
back. Now, you're asking me something about last year, so I will have to go pull that statute and see what it said.
And can we have Scott here at the next meeting so we can ask questions about the budget?
I can ask him.
Could I also ask, you talked about in the fall, what date, like what are we talking about in terms of when can we come back and actually talk about full compensation for all educators?
We'll have a better idea. Typically, we start one body counts the first 10 days of school. And I'm just going by what I would think the board may say. They would like to see how many students we have, because during the first 10 days, we have no shows, withdrawals, registrations. And after the 10-day gives us a better idea of how it's going to look for FTE in October. So if you're asking me, that would be probably around the time that I can start asking and having the board discuss compensation
So like the second week of August?
after the second week of August. After the second week when students start, 10-day count,
So mid-August.
probably be the
No, it would
last.
Be the 24th.
Yeah.
Okay.
The 24th would be the. Will
I
be
feel like we
the
had this
end of
thing
the
last year
21st.
where they kept getting pushed off of, oh, now we need to wait for the October numbers. Oh, now we need to wait for these numbers. Like we never
Like I
trusted
said,
the amounts.
I can speak to until we see enrollment and we see how many bodies we have and how many students come in. we can then forecast what the budget really looks like for the year.
If it is like last year, though, I mean, we didn't ratify until January.
Or I think last year was because of full book. If all we have is compensation, I think we'll be able to ratify soon. I don't know, it will depend.
Well,
on
I
articles.
know the last time we had pushed past the October 1st deadline. Because I think that the compensation package and TSIA funds and everything was presented like September 30th.
There was
So we didn't
no-
even have that done.
But we were doing open book, so we couldn't do anything until we finished the whole book.
But that wasn't the reason for the compensation. The reason for the compensation was we were waiting for enrollment numbers in our budget. So I don't know how we could even ratify this if we don't have compensation information for the whole unit. So then we're out of compliance.
We will be out of compliance with the law if we don't submit a ratified agreement between LCEA and LCS. I will follow the law. The district will follow the law. So if you don't ratify it, the law will make us be an impasse. I'm not saying that I want to. I'm just saying that's what the statute says. I have no choice in the matter. And at that point, when it goes to impasse, you and I know that it's going to go in front of an arbitrator. He's going to see that you had a proposal, I had a proposal, and they're going to come down to the law. It needs to be distributed, period. I don't want to go to impasse. I don't want to hold the money. I want to give it up. I want to give it to the teacher. I want you to have full control on how to distribute it. I just cannot, we are not at the point in time right now in July to discuss compensation performance pay.
How do you think 2,000 people are gonna feel when they don't get anything on this? And for us to have to ratify this with a third of our members or our employees not getting anything. How do you think they're gonna feel? Do you really think they're gonna want to ratify this if they're not guaranteed to get
Then we're back to the
something?
table anyways, if they voted down.
I mean, it's the law.
But it might be the law that we have to have that part done, but that doesn't mean that the board can't go ahead and make an agreement to have something for everybody. Because it's not fair to
I
ask.
mean, it could even be a document stating intent. It doesn't even have to be an official TA. It could be some document that states, this is the intent of the school board.
But the school board cannot sign any document or an intent to document that discusses an amount without knowing what the budget
Again,
looks like.
again, the question would be why? What is so wrong with our budget right now? Because when Scott presented, he said that things looked okay, that numbers were not as bad as they thought they were gonna be. And even last year, it was gloom and doom, and we wound up making some changes and making it work, and it wasn't as bad as we thought it was.
Well-
Every year, we're told there's not enough money, and yet we had a fund balance of 15%. And then we went to 8 and 10%. So unless something drastically happened last year, we should be sitting around 8% of a fund balance.
And
Can we confirm that part? Is there a fund balance?
I can't confirm because I'm not the CFO, so I'm not gonna confirm.
Okay.
I'm not gonna speak to numbers, and it's sure it's not gonna be 15%. Say that.
15%?
You said 15%. At some point we had it at 15%.
Yes, it was a couple years ago.
Correct. So, but it's not nowhere close.
Right now,
I think
it's
it's not
only
even, not even.
8%.
I'm not gonna confirm that either.
You know, it just, I need you to, like, I rock with you. And I know your hands are tied a little bit. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, it seems as though we're holding the funds for what might be instead of releasing the funds for what we know already is. Like that, I understand what's happening, but the logic isn't making, if you're gonna go to war with the people that have already proven they warred for you. They've already proven it 2 years straight. 2,000 people that's disqualified from the increase, but they didn't stop teaching and doing their job. I don't think I'm being irrational, am I? Yeah, we can speak. Like,
I understand what you're saying. The board is not ready to make that decision at this point.
okay, is it the majority of the board, or is it just like 1 or 2 people on the board? Like, come on, we here together. We're not against each other.
Did they give any indication to what we presented in terms of the salary increase proposal? Did they say like they would be okay moving in this direction when they are ready to
Yeah,
change?
they didn't decline the numbers. They just said at this time, we cannot commit to that compensation package until they have more information regarding our enrollment. Pretty much, which is an informed decision. If we're receiving numbers and surveying principles that enrollments are shifting downward, that they're not there, you cannot.
I mean, how much?
I don't know because I don't have that's just preliminary. So they're not going to make a decision. So, and I'm not here to say that we're not going to compensate teachers. That's not what I'm here. I'm here saying we need to table it when we are ready to discuss it. So Right now, our priority is meeting the law. So
So are you saying that not having specific numbers in here for at least an example of how teachers might be compensated from this, that is following the law? Because do we have to, once we come up with whatever that plan is, do we have to sunshine that before does that
No,
have to be a
that just-
public?
when we provide this to DOE, we're providing that we have an agreement. And then once we disperse the funds, I have to provide another report with the update, which means how LCA determined to distribute and we disperse.
But what I'm saying, does that have to be a public process just like this? If you're saying LCA is determining, that we're gonna come up with the table or whatever, does that have to be a public process just like this?
It doesn't. This is the public process, the agreement. I have not gotten that information that it has to be. But if you want the funds, if you want the bands, again, I have no issues coming on July 21st, and I'll include the bands. If that's what you want, my whole intent is to tell you, we want you to decide how to distribute the funds. That's it. So tell me officially, you want me to use the bands that you proposed on the last proposal? I'll put them in the plan.
If we use the bands that we proposed in our most recent proposal, can we, are you saying you want a caveat of that it can't exceed the, with fringe, the 2.1
Correct.
million?
Whatever the allocation, I will put it not exactly, I will put whatever the district allocation under the classroom salary increase will be not to exceed that. It will not, because typically your band for 3,000 will pay, but it would shift down for the others.
Right.
Unless you want them equally shared, move down percentage wise. I don't know. I looked at different ways of doing this, and the best way that I could have done it was putting language that allows you to be flexible, which was that. But if you want the numbers, I'll put the numbers in the MOU and I'll send it right back.
And I guess speaking to what Elizabeth was saying, and we are bargaining in good faith, and we don't know, but if we have to put just the TSIA before our members, which I don't even know, can we do that separate from the rest of the contract?
It would be very difficult.
Then we've got
And like
2,000
voted it.
disenfranchised voters that may be inclined to vote no. So that doesn't leave us in a good faith position.
If they voted no, it's a no. We file impasse, and we still have to distribute the money. It's unfortunate. There's districts that are in that same exact position right now. So
It's the board's pass versus impasse. I mean, their plan is to leave it up to us. So if we went to impasse, what would be their plan?
Because basically it would still boil
Yeah.
down to if you have 2,000 people who are disenfranchised.
correct, and we will have to still bargain compensation separate. This is separate from
I'm saying, but if we went to impasse over this, like what would there be an impasse? Because the plan is saying,
Yeah, then
part
there
of the
is a
resolution. We
plan.
come to a resolution. When you have impasse and you have a meeting with an arbitrator, we have to come into a resolution. The arbitrator said we have to distribute the funds, and then we agree right there with a plan on how to distribute the funds, period.
But the board still gets to approve or disapprove, whatever that is.
Correct. The board will simply ask you, LCA, how do you want, and then we'll be at the same boat. It's a waste of time.
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest, it's a waste of time. But
So
I'm not here because I disagree with you. This statute or law that they passed, completely unfair. I do not agree with you more. But we're not ready to talk compensation to add to this amount.
So one of the things you said was because they're not sure that the referendum is going to pass, and that would be $40 million, except that $40 million would not affect this school year because we're still getting money from the current referendum. So that should not play a part in this at all.
I disagree with you. That's fine.
Why would you disagree when it's for the future?
Because
not
you have to
now?
make decisions for the longevity of the district with personnel.
So is the intent to hang on to the fund balance in case that happens?
No,
Is that why?
again, the board wants to make an informed decision. They want to make an informed decision with compensation once they know enrollment. That's one thing. They want to make sure when they see the budget, they can have that discussion. At this time, the board's priority is we need to meet the statute with this first.
So, I mean, if you look at the plan, the statute's met. Like, we can meet the statute if they would have just came with the compensation piece, like everything would have been met.
But they didn't. Well, the board, you mean the board?
Yeah.
Well, the board cannot make that decision at this time.
Can you talk about the MOU updates? You said you were prepared to at least, or were you saying that you don't have that today?
I didn't bring it with me today because I wanted to concentrate on this, but now that I hear that you want an update on that, I'm prepared. I have
Okay.
notes that I already made with the executive during the executive session. I made with the superintendent. I'll be ready on July 21st to bring him and
Okay.
discuss them with you. Without a doubt, I don't have it. I can bring that. My focus today was going to be this.
So, I feel like most of us at the table have been able to ask questions, but I want to make sure that we have time to ask any other remaining questions. So would you be open to like a 10-minute caucus?
Okay, now, to be fair to you, this room right here, I was meeting with them. Is that okay? Would you like me to go outside to a different building? I want you to
It
feel
might be
comfortable.
getting pretty loud in here, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
then-
Yeah, I think outside would be great.
Okay, let me pause this for a second.
Yeah. I'll hang on. We start.
It is 10:49. We are pausing for caucus. It is 11:07 a.m. We're returning back from caucus.
Thank you. We appreciate y'all's patience. We were able to get through a lot of questions. We're going to continue to work on caucusing after the session today. We will try to come back on the 21st with a response to this MOU. And I want to just express that we appreciate, again, that we're put in a very difficult position, both sides, and that we truly want to collaborate and try to come to a positive agreement that benefits our districts and our employees, instructional staff. So we hope that we can continue to have some more conversations and try to work towards that agreement, potentially, hopefully on the 21st.
Other questions?
Sure.
Would you like me? Obviously, I'm gonna send you the Word document of this, but you'll have it. If you want me to send you this one plus one with the bands that you requested?
Yes, that would be great.
Okay.
Thank you. And I just want to also reiterate again that our priorities and what we bring to the table and what questions we ask are member driven. So we very much are listening to what are the concerns of the bargaining unit and try to present that at the table. So I just want to again reiterate that it is very much what our members want to see. The piece that is going around now, we wanted to make sure that we brought up because last year and really in recent history, we've had some challenging times with health insurance costs, and we wanted to make sure that we got some communication information about that. It was a very robust part of our bargaining session last year because of the changes with video, and then obviously concerns about Florida Blue Cross Blue Shield. And so we do appreciate the district working to get some really great language in the contract on health insurance. And I understand as we spoke, Guido, that there's going to be some communication coming out soon to the instructional staff because it was just board approved for the health insurance plans. We have been in contact with the risk management director and benefits. I know that they're in a conference this week, so they haven't been able to really be able to talk to us, and we tried to reach out to them last week as well. But I did share this plan with them. Bobby was kind enough, she's on our joint insurance committee, and she put this together as a one-pager because in years past we had a one-pager, but we haven't lately, and we have not seen yet an open enrollment communication. Bobby did meet with Mr. Suber last week, I want to say, and I thought I was under the impression that she was going to get to see some of that communication, but I don't think she did. I mean, she can speak to that a little bit more.
It was still in process when I talked to him.
I'm sure that he'll be open to show you all that. It's just, he's in a conference, and I'm assuming these numbers you got from
The board docs.
The board docs and the meeting, okay.
Well, except that we took them and Bobby and I took them, well, Bobby did, I just helped her check her math.
To check my math.
To make sure that this is per paycheck versus for the 10 months versus the ones on the board doc is monthly.
Monthly, correct.
Right.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah,
So you're
this
addressing
is,
that.
this is 20 pays is what
This
this
is 20
is.
pays, yeah.
20 pays.
20 pays per
So it's for each pay for 20 pays,
pay.
per
Okay.
pay for 20 pays, yeah.
So we just wanted your eyes on this to make sure that we're communicating the right information because we want to make sure that our members have good information. Obviously, open enrollment will be starting, I think it's still scheduled for the end of July
Yes.
into August.
I believe so.
I
Okay.
think it starts at 27.
The 27th, I believe.
Okay.
Same day as.
And we will, at our office, we are going to have that insurance benefit, member benefit open house, where we're going to try to have some folks there. I believe we have benefits coming and Orlando Health and some of our other benefits so folks can ask questions. Because really the ultimate goal is to make sure that folks are educated about the health insurance benefits and our wellness centers and all the things that employees have as part of their compensation package. And we know that health insurance is continuing to be a concern across the state and the nation. And we've seen even, recently neighboring districts such as Orange County has reduced their free plans entirely, that they're seeing their family plans skyrocket. And so we know that this is a concern. So one of the biggest ways that we think we can support our district health of our insurance and our employees is education. So they're aware of the plans and the opportunities available to them.
And I'm happy to hear that you have benefits. You're gonna have that.
Yeah, so Marisol and Eric both will be there.
Perfect.
And Marisol reached out to Orlando Health, so they'll be there.
Perfect.
And we would also like to say that we are grateful that they're working with UF to get doctors that work at UF to be in our HPI plan, because the North End, it's really hard to find specialists with HPI. So we're glad that they're working on that. We know it's a process and it's gonna take time, but we're glad they're working on that.
I know those discussions are positive.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to hear that, so.
And I know we're still continuing to look at the video prescription benefits, and we've had multiple conversations at joint insurance. So this is an ongoing thing that we're constantly trying to improve our benefits and make positive change. And Marathon as well, we're excited to continue the conversations with Marathon about our transition to our wellness clinics. And I believe they will be at the benefits open house on, that's Friday, July 30th, 31st.
From 9 to 1:30.
And all are welcome.
Yes, yeah.
And
all
that's for
employees.
everybody,
So
for all
non-instructional can come, anybody in the area can come. Okay, so if you will just double check when you get a chance to speak with Mr. Stuber and Marisol or Mr. Ward on these numbers, so that we make sure that we're communicating good information.
There is a mistake on their deductibles right before copays. It should have a Y in for family. And then we have we added a line that's not on this one, but on the one under labs, we have a grayed out line that says prescriptions on the new one to make it easier to see that the prescription benefits are listed there.
Okay. So where's the Y again?
Um,
Oh, I see it, I see
okay.
it.
and we
I'll
can
look-
send you the corrected one.
I'll send you the word of the MOU, and then you send me the corrected one, and then I'll double check with them on the numbers and get back to you.
Do you have any idea when they're gonna start sending out that communication for open enrollment?
I have not talked to Mr. Suber regarding it, but I will put a note to
Okay.
request communication information. Other than the open enrollment communication, right? You're talking about other information or open enrollment.
Well, it would be with the open enrollment,
And
like
the benefits
benefits
and-
and like the benefit plan,
Yeah,
the packet we
got it.
get that has all the benefits and the costs and everything.
And I think you also said they're,
It's right
they're
there.
working on the website.
Yes,
The
updating the
and
website.
making it
better.
so that you don't have to go behind the wall.
I knew
to-
that they were putting
to
it
get
out
that.
on the outside network. I just don't know when that's
Mhm.
going live. I know they're working on that. I'll find that out too.
All right, well, we appreciate that, and we'll try to get this out as soon as we can, because obviously that will impact employees, and we want to make sure that they're making informed decisions about their health, and, you know, it will impact their income. Okay, anything else about health insurance? You guys good? Any questions? All right, the last thing that we had was an MOU discussion on summer school.
Okay.
Because I don't recall us doing anything for summer school. For a second. Yeah,
But you want to have an MOU for some.
we probably should, because it's ongoing.
Can we wait for the talking, because I keep feeling off.
Okay.
So if we can maybe work on getting that for the 21st, you think that's possible? Because it's, I mean, obviously it's ongoing and people, I'm assuming people are being paid for summer school right now.
They're getting paid, well, we used a contract to pay them outside their hourly rate. We went to all teachers getting paid their hourly rate. So they're getting paid their hourly rate for X amount of hours that they go for summer school.
Right,
They don't get, if they don't show up, they don't get paid because it's not a contract, it's just by the hour.
right.
So, and for X amount of days, it's just like the writing team, they get paid their hourly rate
Mhm.
for doing a writing team.
Right.
So, not sure, I mean, if you want an MOU, we.
Well,
but then-
traditionally every
guys,
year,
MOU.
because
So I
there's
don't
working
know.
condition language on there, like planning.
And that's fine,
period.
I'm gonna look at the old one,
Okay.
the last one we had, and then try to have it ready for the
Okay,
21st.
perfect.
Just know that my priority is for you and I to come into an agreement with.
And ours is too. We would love to do that.
So I will send you the word and I will send you, I'll edit today, put some bands in and
It's gonna be. Just bargain it and put it into the
That's a great point.
Because now they've been doing MOUs forever.
Yeah, Bobby made a point about the MOUs for summer school. I mean, we've been doing this every year. I'm wondering if we should look at trying to incorporate some of that language just in the contract.
If you're gonna do the hourly rate, you could just put it as part of compensation,
And
bargaining.
do the working conditions in contract, like add that part for
Yeah.
summer school working.
And if it changes, then we could do an MOU.
Yeah,
But I mean, has it changed much? Has the way?
yeah, they don't offer MOU. They don't, it all depends on the funds available for summer school. The one summer school that strictly happens every year is grade 3.
Okay.
All others are depending on funds available or supply through grants.
but they're all paid,
You're paying the
all
hourly rate.
Correct, but the
work
grants,
conditions are the same.
correct. The working
Working
conditions
conditions
are.
are-
So,
Right.
so in the contract, it wouldn't say like how many it would be, it would just say.
If you are working.
If you're holding summer school.
Yeah.
Right on top of my head, I can't think of
Okay.
anything. So yes, we can, but if it's contract, it would take me longer to come to that by 21st. So I still have other articles.
Well, maybe we could just do the MOU for this year and look at trying to add it in for next year.
If I have a current MOU that we've used in the past, it's easier for me just to have it.
Right.
So I can bring that there.
Let's do that, the MOU, and then we can just work on getting it in there for next year.
You had mentioned an article that you're planning on bringing forward. Are you still
Yes,
planning?
Article 11, but again, that's not our priority right now. So we have worked on it, but we are not ready to present it because we've been working on the other things.
So for you to know, Article 4 is the one that I'm bringing.
Okay,
It has to do with Senate bills in 1296, I believe.
okay,
Regarding taking temporary duty for union business. There's language that says that we can allow, and then you reimburse for substitutes. I have to change that language
okay.
based on law, not your personal leave. Or
Uh-huh.
yours is fine because you're officially on leave,
Mhm.
and then the district reimburses. So that's fine. It's the other language. So based on, I'm going to bring the statute and what
Okay.
it says and what it is. It's just changing it to if they want to do, it has to be personal time. Because that they have to take personal time. Yes, if you look at the language, that's how.
My understanding, that would only apply if they were doing like organized work.
Correct.
But they
So,
could still, like, because we do delegate assembly, we do professional developments, we go to Tallahassee.
correct. That's all part of union, and it's like it's not part of the.
That's not my understanding. My understanding it's only organizing
So then,
specific.
again, not priority.
Okay,
Once we finish TSIA, we'll discuss it.
okay,
But that's the article that I'm bringing, and I'll bring the statute and the language that correlates to that.
okay, and you're gonna do that.
Not on the 21st.
Okay.
I'm just wanting you to start reviewing that article and that statute. Does that make sense? Because
Yeah.
you're telling me Article 11, so I'm telling you Article 4 is the one that and it's related to Senate Bill 1296.
Right, I'm aware of what you're talking about, but I
Okay.
guess,
It's minor, it's just like a little section in it.
Yeah.
I'm just rewording it. But you review it, and if you disagree with it, we'll
Okay.
discuss it and come to an agreement. So. What I'm not planning, again, my priority will be the health insurance information,
okay,
the MOU for the TSIA, for the classroom teacher salary increase allocation, and then I'm gonna bring you back the referendum MOUs. You want that, correct? On the 21st.
yes, that would be great. So
I'll bring that.
21st for referendum. TSIA will come back on.
And health insurance update, right? Give you this information
Yes,
back.
that would be great if you haven't
Yeah, if
updated.
I'm able to talk to him before then, yes, I'll bring you
I
that.
mean, I hope the benefits guy would be released a week before
Yeah.
open enrollment.
Yeah, no, I'm sure they have it. It's just, again, if they're on a conference, I just need to get in a conversation with them so that I can review this.
And we'll wait probably until August for Article 11.
I'll do the same. I'm not gonna bring Article 4 to them.
How about dates?
So you have, do we wanna make sure July 21st, what time? If I had it on the calendar for
2 to 4.
2 to 4,
That's what we put on the agenda. So if
Okay.
y'all are okay with
is
that?
that okay with you?
Yes.
Okay,
Didn't hear it either.
July 21st, 2 to 4, district office. What other dates do you need?
So I had put Wednesday dates for August on there.
August 5th, 12th, 19th,
So would
29th.
work for y'all.
August 5th works for me.
Okay.
What time?
We're back to work.
This is pre-planning week.
Mhm.
So-
that's, it's just,
Week goes till 3. That's custodial in service in the morning, just at 1:09.
It's not professional development. Like,
Yes,
professional.
that's a busy.
Okay.
Teachers too, so some might have.
so you might not have, you want teachers or if you want more participation, it's gonna be a difficult day. So you
You
want me
wanna
to
do
go
the
to 12?
12th?
I mean, technically, it would probably be the same for any day after that because. it's
Yeah.
a work day. So it's.
It's
Keeping
gonna
in
be our
mind, like,
regular
the-
hours. It's gonna have to be our after-school hours that we normally
Probably
do.
like
3:30 or 4?
I would say 4.
Or,
We'll do the 5th at 4.
Do we want 5th or 12th?
Um,
What do y'all?
Well, I think if we're looking
I'd
at getting
rather do
compensation
pre-planning.
done, I'd rather do it on the pre-planning day, the 5th.
Let's do the 5th
Okay,
at 4.
At 4.
On the 5th, August 5th?
Yeah.
August 5th.
Where?
Let's do it after office. It's school.
Yeah, we could do it at our office.
That's,
okay,
So August 5th, 4 PM at LCEA.
all right.
Close, right?
And if you
No, I'm
want,
thinking the same thing. Full on drive out here.
and they're gonna be-
the 19th and 29th, I won't set them, I'll just block my calendar just in case we need to set.
For the
it.
19th and 20.
I'll just put it blocked, but be aware that I'm.
It should have been the 26th.
Oh, I made a typo.
Well, based on our conversation.
It should be what?
really-
It's the 26th, not the 29th. The 29th is a Saturday.
so tentatively hold August 19th and 26th.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just, I'm just putting a placeholder calendar, that's all, in case we do one or the other. Not sure both, because I also have the other bargaining unit that I need to take.
That would also be 4, correct?
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah, it will be 4 o'clock, if anything, but we'll establish that on the 5th or on the 21st, depending where we are.
I think that's all we have. Y'all have anything else? Okay, we appreciate y'all in the discussion today and thank you for making the trek out here.
I live in Brooklyn, it's wonderful.
Oh.
I made one turn, I'm like.
That's why we were trying to,
We should do this more often.
All right, well,
Wait for you.
all right, let me go ahead and close this out. It is, July 15th, it's 11:25. This concludes bargaining session for today. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Oh, you're-